let me know if the battery's not working. Hi, Sean here at Callahan College to show you a couple of things about the portable drill and impact driver. Now we don't want to get these two types of tools mixed up. The drill, this one here is a portable lithium ion drill that's good for drilling holes. The impact driver is great for driving in screws. Alright. This drill has a lithium ion battery which lasts quite a long time and it's very powerful. It slides in like that and it can be released by pressing the release button and sliding out. We've got a keyless chuck, which means we don't need to actually put a chuck key in to tighten up. We can loosen or tighten our drill bit depending on what we want to put in there. So loosen it off and tighten it up, place it in, and hear it click home so we know that we've got it tight. We've got two settings in speed, 2 or 1 which is slower. 1's handy if you're driving in screws. If you're drilling, you want to select the drill setting on the top of this clutch. Now the clutch is handy for when you want to set a resistance depending on the number that you see on the top. The resistance means it will actually have far more torque if you go down to a setting like 16, and it will drive a screw right through heavy material, whereas if you tilt it back to a 4 thereabouts, it will be a lighter clutch and it will slip. It's intended to slip if you're driving in screws, so you don't drive that screw right through the material. It will slow down and pull up when it feels some resistance on the clutch. So I'll demonstrate that by pressing the trigger and holding the clutch to see it slipping. So that's that resistance acting like that. The impact driver uses the same battery, so we'll just do a switch over, and you can see this works in a slightly different way. When it's put under pressure, it will turn and stop and turn and stop, and we'll be able to drive in screws much faster. So in this little example, we're going to have a look at how we join two pieces of timber together by pre-drilling and then screwing together. Alright, to mark it out, we're going to join this piece of timber over here like this, and we're going to put 2 screws in. So it's a simple joining method, something that you can easily do yourself. So you need to mark it out, so you want those screws to be located so they go straight through the centre of this piece of timber. So by putting my finger at close to the end of the pencil, I sort of estimate halfway and I put a line there like that. You can see that there. So I know that's where I want the screws. I'll keep my finger on that position and lightly draw a line there so I've got that on the top. We know that if I put a screw on that line, it will go straight through. So my first hole I want to be a clearance hole. I've just selected a 3.5mm drill bit here, and so this should be the size of the outside of the screw. So the screw will slide through the first piece and then bite into the second piece. So right there, that's where we're going to have it. Now we don't want to drill through this piece and into the next piece. We only want to drill through this piece here, the top. So I'll just rest it over here and we'll go through. Settings on number 1, we'll speed it up to number 2. Now I've estimated the distance in from the edges so we're not too close to the outside edge to prevent any splitting. We place it on top of our piece, make sure the end is flush, and we've got here 35mm countersink screws. They're an 8-gauge screw and they should sit flush with the top of the timber. So I'll place them in like this. Here's my other one. And then we need to put in our correct driver bit. Now we've got square drive screws, so they don't take a Phillips head driver bit, they take a square drive. We find that they work much better. They're a more popular screw nowadays than the Phillips head because they will never slip in the chuck. Alright, we've got to put a battery on that, don't we? Slip that one out. And here we go. We're just going to drive that home using the impact driver. Now we can pull up that until it's nice and flush. You heard the clicking of the impact driver. That's slowing down and just slightly pulling up that screw until you can release the trigger when you know that it's flush. We'll get a close-up shot on the type of... How's the focus?
Yeah.
Alright. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune into the other machines and tools in the workshop.